Are you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Good golly, Miss Molly. Hi, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. I am still laughing because if you don't check us out a half hour beforehand over on Instagram, you miss a whole other show. There is a whole other show that happens on the Instagram every single week from 6:30 till 7. It's probably more real, tells more of the truth, gives more scoop than anywhere else. Anywhere else. Hi, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're watching The Roundtable. We have a killer show for you today. Tituss Burgess is here. Alex Moffat is here. Maria Bilbao is here. So if you love Moulin Rouge, if you love Sweeney Todd, if you love The Cottage, this is your show. We're here for it. So welcome to The Roundtable, everyone. We are on Broadway Podcast Network every single day. We are here every single week. And I hope you're subscribing and following us all along. Alrighty, it is time. Are you ready? I'm ready. So, Robbie Roselle was just on the Instagram Live, causing a scene, a ruckus, asking inappropriate questions, talking. Next week's show, we're going to talk about it in the shameless plug. You need to be here because Robbie is taking over and surprising me. And I'm terrified of all that's about to happen. So be here next Thursday. That's all I have. That's all I can say. Yes, Abby is here. Missed you, Abby. Abby hasn't been feeling well. Feel better, Abby. Wherever you are, she's a flight attendant. She's over in the UK. We're international here, and we are always chaos, and we are always insane. And this is just come to the Instagram. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm ready. I am ready for the weekend review. It was a quiet week, everyone. And I know I don't always say that. Look, Christina's here. She just got to New York City. Hold on. We get to Hey Friend Hey. We're going to talk about my friend. Hi, Mom. My mother is here. My father was here in the pre-show. My man is here. My partner is here. Miss him terribly today. So everybody, hey Darius, my love. So everybody, we are here to have the weekend review. It was a quiet week. I actually have been trying to balance, and everyone gets on me, from family to friends, everyone to stop, and I'm not very good at stopping. I fill my time with work. I run around. I have a really blessed, beautiful life. And this weekend, I really did cancel plans. I didn't do anything. I didn't go to shows. I didn't do anything. I visited my mom. There's my mother. I visited my mom on Friday night and said hey to her. And I spent Saturday in the rain with the dog. There's me and Clarence. And we had a good old time. Just being in the bed on Sunday and resting. I've been very honest and open about struggling with anxiety and stress and work and life and letting things overwhelm me. So sometimes we need to take the time out. So we took a time out and we had a very relaxing weekend. I don't really have much to say. Isn't it weird? It's so weird. Waffle VR Studios asks me a question about teaching life. Did you keep doing book club? I'm not doing the book club this year. And they want to know if sixth graders can join. So welcome to North Bergen Public School. No, I'm not doing the book club this year because I am starting a musical theater club. At the North Bergen School, they asked me to run an acting musical theater club. So instead of doing the book club, and sixth grade can join. So if you want to sing and dance and act, you can do that right at Horseman School. Yeah, so there you go. And if you were watching us on the Instagram Live, we were talking about the review for my album and causing all sorts of muck and mess. And oh, Robbie's here. Jesus Christmas. Oh, somebody get him. If this was Showtime at the Apollo, let's whop, whop, and tap dance him off the stage. Musical Theater Club. Maybe Robbie will come and be a guest and talk about his illustrious time in Rocky Horror Picture Show in upstate New York, which must have been as bad as that sounds. So when we're here, we were just talking. It's time for the shameless plug. Are you ready? We might as well just keep the show moving because good God. Oh, we have picture day. Did you have picture day, Waffle? Picture day. Did you... those are my students thinking they're funny when it's picture day and I'm taking my picture for the class photo. Isn't it joy? And you know what else I did last night? I hosted karaoke because I try to do it all. Take a peek at what karaoke is like in Avenel, New Jersey.
And when you get the chance, you are the dancing queen, young and sweet on the Chevrolet.
You know, not all money is good money, as Tupac once said. But I had fun. They're fun. They're a really fun group. I'm happy you look the same, and ABBA is cool, and I hope you join the club. And Robbie wants me to talk about the backdrop. The backdrop is fake. The backdrop is fake. Everyone asked. I had the brick wall for a very long time. I moved, and this is a fake brick wall. Amazon, you can have a brick wall at your house too. So we are going, unless you live in the Boston Edison section of Detroit, beautiful brick homes, brick wall. Let's talk about the shameless plug.
'Cause I'm shameless.
You know, you guys give me so much joy. And when I have days where I'm overwhelmed, tired, or grumpy, or missing, or being, or whatever, I come here and your energy gives me energy. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all. You all really make me feel a mess. Abby wants her money back. She feels upset. Showbiz is fake, Abby. It's fake. I have shocking news. Most drag queens are men. See? Abby loves drag. So showbiz, fake. We have an album coming out next week. Next Friday, for the people who are watching who were there, that were at Rewind at the Green Room 42, we recorded it. So here's the tea. You all wanted the tea, and now Robbie's not here. So Robbie is here, but he can't talk the way I like it. So my mom says I'm never grumpy. So she's a good liar. No, I try not to be. So Robbie, we're doing Rewind. We did the show once, and then we fixed it and edited it, and then months later we did the show again. And Robbie was nervous that hi Matthew Fritz and hi Robbie again. I know you do. So we did the show, and Robbie said you were going to record it, but it's only one night. And I said I can do this show in one night. I can tell my story in one night. I can sing these songs in one night. One take, one night, hit record, and play this song. And it is my story. It is my first date. It is with a woman, with a girl. It is Dolly Parton. It is Whitney Houston. It is Liza Minnelli. It is Elton John. It is Harry Chapin. It is Rent. And it is a mega 8-song Barry Manilow medley, plus the show-stopping 11 o'clock number from Harmony every single day, which is gorgeous. And my tales of growing up Jersey with my parents, finding out who I am, figuring out who I am. And we are all Barry, all day. And this album is from our heart, and it's with a live band, and it is all me, and is directed and co-written by Robbie Roselle and co-produced, music directed by Yasuhiko Fukuoka, and he also engineered this album and took this album that was recorded live, and this photo is by Michael Hull, and we're putting it out on Friday. So next week, come celebrate here on the Roundtable on Thursday night. We're going to have a big surprise birthday because I turned 40. And then we're going to have this come out to the world on Friday. So I'm so excited about it. Thank you to everybody who sent love and their joy. And I hope it gives you some joy and you find some joy, sentimentalness, and love and appreciation. If you're from Jersey or from Binghamton or from Detroit or from LA, what you can relate in this story is finding yourself, finding people who love and matter, and finding the authentic part of you, and just being comfortable to finally be you. It's taken me way longer than it should have to be that way. And it's an honor and a privilege to be able to tell a story, survive through a story, and have people listen. I never take that for granted. And I'm so grateful for you for being here. And I'm so grateful for you for listening. And I hope you join us next week. It's a big old Robert week. It stresses me out tremendously. To be honest. And I'm so excited about it all. While we're here, I want you to know that my college where I went to school, university, at William Patterson University, the president of William Patterson University is named Dr. Richard Helldobler. He has a doctorate in musical theater, and he is one of the first out university president. He's married to his husband, and he reached out to me and said, I see what you're doing. We love what you're doing. William Patterson would like to partner with you with your Broadway lecture series. So on October 30th, if you're in Jersey, you can come see me and Richard, I guess Dr. or President Helldobler, interview Chita Rivera, October 30th at 7:30. You may even meet my mom and my grandma there. And who knows who else will be in town. And it's moderated by me and Dr. Helldobler, and Chita will be there. And we're going to go through her book, and you can get a picture. Listen to this. You can meet Chita Rivera. The first 50 people who buy the VIP tickets get to take a picture with Chita Rivera. And you know how much the tickets are? $40. For $40, you can take a picture with Chita Rivera. Run and get your tickets. Run and get your tickets. Right, Sam? Samantha, watch Unfinished Business. Watch Rewind. You'll learn about her part of my story. See, there's a big journey here. There's a journey here, right, Samantha? And Samantha went to William Patterson too. So come to William Patterson. And then, December 9th, the Robert Bannon Christmas special is here. Yasuhiko Fukuoka is back. Robbie is back, and it's here. If you want to celebrate the holidays, you want to hear music by all the divas, we have a diva medley that we're going to work on. We have songs that you know and love. It's going to be sentimental. It's going to be fun. There's going to be special guests. We're going to be festive. There's a rooftop afterwards. Get a drink, have a martini, and celebrate the holidays with me. Get your tickets right now. You can always go to robertbannon.com. The links are updated. We're going to have a new website next week. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a ton of stuff going on here, and I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, Willie P in the house. Yes, I hope you're in New York for that too, Abby, because it's going to be festive and fun. And I think I'm going to wear a smoking jacket, and I think we're going to have. Oh, it's going to be something. We'll talk more about my outfit. We'll get help and advice. So come December 9th, go to robertbannon.com and get your tickets. Click the link, grab them while you can. And this is just for you all. If you use the code Robert5, you can be the people to get $5 off tickets right now. So go to the code. I haven't sent it out in my email blasts. I haven't told anyone about it. Save yourself $5, and we kept the tickets all at $50 or less over at the Chelsea Table and Stage. So get your tickets, grab them while you can. Meet me on December 9th. I'm excited. I'm really excited about it all. You know, we've been debuted on the Broadway Podcast Network, the Broadway Podcast Network, the Roundtable, the Rewind and the Roundtable. There's too many R's. The Roundtable on there has just had its 5,000th download in a month. 5,000 people have downloaded the show, and 30% of our listeners come from Germany. I don't know why, but Dankeschön. Thank you for being here. If you want to find out more information on the podcast network, go to the Roundtable on the podcast network. This show was supposed to be twice a month. It turned into once a week. It turned into once a week plus the talks occasionally. And now there is interviews up every day. Every day there's an interview up on the Broadway Podcast Network and on the YouTube page. So if you want to see me talk to Jay Rodriguez of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and Rent and Broadway and television and films, he is there talking about his show Coming to 54 Below, right, Lattes? Coming to 54 Below next weekend. So you need to get your tickets and see Jay. Come see our chat. It's up on the podcast network and on YouTube. If you would like to hear me talk to actress Ellen Adair, she has a brand new horror film that's SAG sponsored, so we can talk about it. She's up on the podcast. If you want to talk about South African jazz new legend artist, came to William Patterson, actually. Voyo Sotashe up on the Roundtable. So many chats. I just had a chat today with Dionne Warwick's son. I just had a chat with a rapper named Deadly, who is a half Mexican, half African-American rapper who's gay and part of the Homo Hop movement, and there's a documentary about him, and we talk about hip hop culture and merging hip hop and the queer community and how the queer community resists it. Fascinating chats over on the podcast network. So if you want information, go on down to BroadwayPodcastNetwork.com. All right, we did it. We did it, right? So, Abby, that's great. I love that you're downloading it in Germany. Download away. Oh my goodness. I hope that lattes fix your car. Be careful. I'm sorry. So, don't have broken cars. There we go. All right. I'm excited. Whew. It's a lot, right? Sure is. Let's go now to this.
I'll be there for you. How you doing?
You all love that because you encourage my insanity. And Robbie Roselle is going to be insane next week. I want to wish a happy 50th birthday to loyal roundtabler and my friend from North Carolina, the one and only Christine Clifton. Christine Clifton right here has been with this show from the very, very beginning. We've had her on the show when we've had people like John McD. She's come to my shows at Green Room. She's come to my shows at 54 Below. You could hear her yelling and clapping on the Rewind album. And I appreciate you, Christine. I appreciate your mom. I'm excited that you're in New York. I hope you have the best 50th birthday ever, ever, ever. I hope that Jim Caruso and Billy Stritz sing you happy birthday and do the most amazing job. And I am so incredibly grateful for all the love and support you have shown me. Thank you for being a part of this show every single week. Hi, Jen. Jen here runs Perfect Pizza in North Bergen. And tomorrow I'm in a workshop a block away, Jen. And the teachers are coming. So have the pizza ready. Because we're coming to maybe we'll come to the Perfect Pizza, Jen. I love it. Hi, Matthew Fritz. Matthew Fritz says happy birthday. Welcome to New York and celebrating. And I want to give a big thank you and a happy birthday to one of my oldest friends, a friend that I met when I was 10 years old, my friend Kristen. Kristen, happy birthday. She is younger than me. She turned 39. Look at us in high school. That was my senior year of high school. And that's my other friend, Kristen, and the Kristens. So she turned 39 and she's down there in Texas and I miss her. And I wish her the happiest birthday. I hope she has the most amazing birthday. Yeah, come on now. We did that. We did that, right? I think you know about next week because I've said it a million times, but one more time. Next week, I turn the show over to Robbie Roselle, international cabaret superstar, a record maven. He's the Clive Davis of Broadway, and he will be here. So if you want to celebrate and see what surprises are up, Adrian is up to something, Robbie is up to something. We will be celebrating a roundtable event, October 26th at 7 o'clock. It's my 40th virtual birthday party, surprise guests, video messages, a sneak peek of Rewind. Make sure you're here, and I look forward to seeing you. Holy moly. I had a bowl cut. Yes, I did. I had many hairstyles. I'm like Cher. Christine, you're very welcome. Thank you. And Jen, she says she hopes people are coming. They're coming. We have a jam-packed show. We have 3 guests, so it's going to take a minute to get through it all. But I got the chance. I left work today and headed over. Big show. I left work today and I headed over to the Hirchfeld Theater where they are in the production of the one and only Moulin Rouge. It is quite a moment. It is fun. If you love the movie, then you're going to love this production. And now it stars Corey Cott. It stars friends of this show, Courtney Reed, and the legendary, fun, amazing Tituss Burgess. When I was invited to sit down with him, I did not miss the chance to stop by and say hey. Tituss Burgess! We've met him on the red carpets. He's done little clips, but we welcome him right here to the roundtable. Take a peek.
We are here with the one and only Tituss. Congratulations. Welcome to Moulin Rouge.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be here.
You can get your tickets and get down here.
Yes, you can, and you better. We want to see you.
I can't wait to see you do this.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Broadway.
Thank you, friend. I appreciate it.
I remember Good Vibrations.
No, you don't.
I sure do.
Oh, you're just
I
saying
can
that.
sing a Beach Boys number right now. I remember Jersey Boys.
Yes.
Playing the hits on the radio, and then of course we remember and loved Little Mermaid, and now you are here. What about the show and now made you feel like it was time?
Oh, goodness. Well, it's been time for a long time, and now I just had the time, and it had nothing to do with what is going on in the other industries. I have been wanting to get back to New York to to be back on stage and sort of, I don't know, reignite my passion and get back to why I came here in the first place. And I saw the show a couple months ago, and I didn't see it with the thought, oh, I got to be in that. I just was like, oh, let me just go check this out. And it was manic, fun, high octane energy. So when I got the call to do it, I thought, can I do this? I'm not sure. Some big shoes to fill, but Moulin Rouge is the family that I never knew I needed or wanted. I can honestly say that.
Oh, this cast and this spectacle that is this show.
Mhm.
What is it like to work with Courtney Reed, to work with Corey? They are such brilliant performers.
Yeah. Courtney and I go way back. I've known her for about 20 years. And this is my first time watching her on stage when I saw the show, and then being with her on stage is a whole other experience. She's a lovely, lovely, gifted actress. And Casey is just a dear heart and brings so much warmth and pathos to the role of Christian. It's just lovely to watch them fall in love night after night, over and over again. I'm here for it.
So when you put the outfit on and you put on the hat, and you put on the jacket and you're Harold and you go out there, what is your warm up routine? What is it like before you step? Because it is a circus.
Oh, is it ever? And it never gets easier, and I can never prepare enough for it. And I run those lines every day because he has very flowery dialogue. It speaks in a very specific way, and so it really gives me agita. But when I put on the top hat and the coat, Harold shows up and Tituss is in the dressing room, and it's quite a lovely feeling. I can rely on something else to get me across the finish line.
Well, we were listening to your music beforehand. You have sung everything from Sondheim to Broadway to 45 to your original music.
Oh, wow.
Everything that you've put out there. What is it like to take a song like Chandelier and these pop big diva moments and do this 8 shows a week on Broadway?
It's kind of for me like a little mini exorcism. I love that song so much, and I love Sia's music so much, and it comes at a very crucial point in the plot, But once I send Christian on his way, I allow Zidler just to sort of get lost in the sort of reckless abandon of it all, and for a minute and a half, I get to forget everything in the world and just let my heart leap, and I do a deep dive into that melody, and after I'm done, it's the most cathartic experience. So I quite love having the opportunity to sing that every night.
I need to see these tones. I need to see these tones. These tones singing this song is something so special. When I saw you last on the red carpet, I talked about the deep dive of Meadowlark. I listen to it once a week. Your version of Meadowlark. The voice and the range that you have, and to hear you sing these big epic songs like that is worth the price of admission.
Oh my goodness!
So it's the holidays. It's going to be Thanksgiving. It's going to be December. It's going to be tourist season.
Oh yes.
The people that are watching from all around the country. What is the perfect Moulin Rouge day this winter? What can should we grab a drink?
Grab a drink, something warm and something red, maybe. Some absinthe, maybe. I don't recommend that. But come see us. It's the perfect excuse to take a load off and forget what's going on in the rest of the world and just get lost in the sea and the chaos and the glory that is Moulin Rouge. It's a wonderful cast right now. You're gonna love it.
And you're here
until December 17th. So please come see me.
They have decked this theater out. It is an experience from top to bottom.
I agree.
And then I think it's not a rumor. I think from here you're gonna be in Atlanta.
Yes, I wrote a musical called The Preacher's Wife, which is based on the same property that Whitney Houston and Denzel Washington starred in 1997, and we'll be at the Alliance Theater premiering there, and hopefully greater heights after that.
I can't even. Amazing director, amazing choreographer.
Yes, Michael Arden and Tinashe Bolden is the co-directors, and it's quite something. I wrote the score and the lyrics, and I am confident that people will walk away satiated and feeling as fervent about the original motion picture score that they do about what we've been able to conjure together. At least I hope so. And I hope people listen and watch and feel as much reciprocity as I felt building the show for the past 13 years.
Amazing. As this Jersey boy, that Whitney is all. So
yes,
we're here for it. We're here for it. I'm going to give him my 16-bar cut of my Preacher's Wife audition
Please.
after this. And everyone here is going to head up right with the link below us and make sure you grab your tickets to come down and see you this holiday season in Moulin Rouge. It's always a pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you so much for everything you do and all the art and work you've done.
Thank you. Thank you.
There is the Tituss Burgess. We love Tituss Burgess, and I was ready to sing. But then he wrote new songs, so I didn't want to sing the old Preacher's Wife songs because he wrote new songs. But I was ready to sing, and when the earth all around me sinking sand, on Christ the solid rock I stand. When I needed shelter, I go to the rock. Hey, hey, hey. I was ready. I've listened to that album a billion times. Congrats to my friend Matthew Johnson Harris for being the choreographer of this production that's going to Atlanta. I'm here for the Preacher's Wife coming to stage, hopefully coming to Broadway. Go check out Tituss in Moulin Rouge. You know it's going to be a magical night of theater. Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jen. Jen says I have a great voice. I just have grew up listening to great singers. Thank you. I appreciate you. So that's why you're going to listen to my album next week, Jen, on Friday when it comes out, called Rewind. Are you ready for more? Do you know that I got my SAG card by being on Saturday night's live show? You know that show that's on NBC at 11:30 that talks about politics and presidents and musical guests and hosts and all of the fun that's in pop culture? I got my start over at Studio 8H at Rockefeller Center on Saturday Night Live. And I got to do that show 24 times with everyone you could imagine, working with everyone from Pete Davidson to Leslie Jones to with the big people that Kristen Wiig to Billie Eilish and Gail Gadot and everyone, Kenan Thompson and all of the people that are over there at Saturday Night Live. So when I got the chance to speak to my buddy Alex Moffat, who spent 8 years on Saturday Night Live and now left to make his Broadway debut in The Cottage, I was so excited to see him outside of the studio and see him in the Broadway. And he stopped by to tell us all about his journey from Chicago improv to TV to Broadway. Alex Moffat joins us now. One of my favorite things this season was getting to come down to the Cottage and check out what an all-star ensemble cast. If you're listening to us on the Broadway Podcast Network or watching us on the YouTube channel, I'm so excited to have out. He's been a Trump. He's been a Biden. He's been a guy who just bought a boat. And now he's on the Broadway. Alex Moffat, welcome to the show.
Hey, yeah, baby. Hi.
It's so good to see you.
Likewise.
I had
streamers.
Yeah, you're a party in a bag.
I'm a party in a bag. That's what they say.
And you are in between shows here with me because they force you. No, I'm kidding.
Basically, no, I'm in my little dressing room at the Hayes, where our only decoration is the streamers that Dana Steingold and Lily Cooper put up for Nehal Joshi's birthday. And that is all we have for decorations, except for a blanket that covers our couch. Go ahead, sir.
Well, you have an amazing cast. You have an amazingly fun show.
Ever. My God.
From Eric to Laura to Lily to everyone on stage.
Every single person, top to bottom, to a person, we are stacked and jacked.
Stacked and jacked. So what is it like to be able to, you've done this run, you have to the end of the month, so everybody run and get your tickets. Go to the Cottage.
Don't walk, run to that website. Is that how it works?
I think so. You put your credit card number and boom, there's Alex Moffat in your face. So, what is it like to do the same character 8 shows a week as opposed to improv, as opposed to stand-up, like where you get to play with this one character, this one circumstance every single night?
Very glad you asked, Robert. It's a new challenge for me. I've never done 8 shows a week. But it's a blast. I mean, again, a lot of that comes back to like the fact that we have such an amazing cast. Everybody is so sort of keyed in the moment. They have such an amazing read on their character. And so everybody really is like kind of just in the moment, all the time, every show, there's not a moment where we're like just checked out and being like, well, I'm just doing Clark now again, and just saying the words. So part of it is just like, as maybe cliche or oversaid as it is, like this sort of magic of live theater is what kind of helps keep it alive, because every audience is a little bit different. So maybe some shows, Clark's a little bit dumber than in others, or a little bit quicker to anger or something, or, more annoying to his, future wife, who I won't spoil who that is, but all I will say is like Lily Cooper and I kind of get to be like almost like a comedy duo. And, we have a good time, and we play off each other. So some nights, if she's super just like, the vibe is like, Clark, you're a fucking idiot, then I'm playing off of that. So it's always a little bit different. So some of it is like, not to get too in the weeds, but some of it is just like really minute things, as opposed to like, if I'm doing an improv show, that's literally different every time. Or like something on the telly, which I say because I'm British, that's also its own beast. But I'm loving this live theater thing, Robert. I gotta tell you,
I loved being there. We had a blast. Me and my best friend Mike came down to the theater, and
sure,
when I said I was going to talk to you, he said, you got to talk to him about the physical comedy. You got to talk to him about that split, those legs, that whole bit that you do. Is it all impulses? Do you play around in rehearsal? Do you go home and look in the mirror and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that? What happens?
I would love to say I go home and do it in the mirror. I mean, don't get me wrong. I spend plenty of time looking in the mirror, like dancing around and doing faces, always have, as I'm sure you do. Anybody who's like an actor and, performer probably has spent way more hours looking in the mirror and like cracking themselves up than they'd like to admit. But in this case, like with that move where I go into the window box and then whoop, that came about in a rehearsal, and we had, in our rehearsal space, we had like a replica, which I'm sure is just what they always do, but I'm new here to Broadway. So replica of the stage, and then like replica of that window box. And I actually, come to think of it, I think that move I discovered during tech on the actual stage. So that was just sort of a gift from Paul Tate DePoo III, our fantastic set designer.
The set is amazing. When I talked to Laura Bell Bundy, I told Laura Bell Bundy, how do you memorize these? You guys are fast. There are a lot of lines.
Yeah. And in some cases, I don't have them fully memorized. So, I like to keep everybody on their toes by having them think, well, what's he going to forget this performance?
No cue cards up there.
I keep begging for them. And even with 2 weeks to go, they say, no, you really should know these words by now.
What was it like in the rehearsal space with your director? I mean, you talk about comedic actor and someone who
talk about comedic actor.
Jason Alexander directed this piece. What was that?
I mean, he's a comedy legend, sitcom royalty. Seinfeld is one of my all-time favorite shows, top 3 for me. And in fact, it was George Costanza was there on the night that I became a father. And I'll not leave it so vague. I'll explain what I mean. Basically, my wife and I during COVID, where she had never watched Seinfeld, so we were making our way through it. We made a child during that time. And then the night that, basically we were just starting the final season, and my wife said, do you think we're going to finish Seinfeld before the baby arrives? Because she was still 3.5 weeks away from her due date. And I said, oh, of course, there's like 25 episodes. We'll do it, because there wasn't much else going on in the world. So we were watching a lot of Seinfeld. And then about 10 minutes later, into the first episode of season 9, I think it is, she goes, oh shit. And she stood up and her water broke, like in a movie, like it geflooshed out of her. And she was like, it's go time. And I was like, oh my God. So I paused Seinfeld, and then we had a child. So I told Jason that, and I think he was very honored to be a part of our baby's life in that way.
And congratulations on Kramer, George, Jerry.
Yeah, congrats to me on them for having them be, doulaying my daughter. Thank
So
you.
Newman was not a choice of a name for your daughter?
Oh, you were guessing what our daughter's. Yeah, no, her name. Yes, it is Elaine Bennis Newman, Tim Watley, David Buddy Moffat.
It's
Yeah.
not a good joke if I have to explain it. That. So there.
It actually was. It just went right over my tired little head.
I hear you. Chicago. You're from Chicago.
Yeah. Good point.
And thank you. Crack research here. So you're in Chicago, and what was the moment when was it a teacher? Was it a family member? When did someone say, like, Alex, you're funny? Or have you just been trying to convince them of that ever since?
I've always had a chip on my shoulder. It's the second city. We all have a chip on our shoulder, just always trying to convince people we're something more than we are. So, but let's see. I mean, I don't, that's a good question. I had a lot of great teachers. Honestly, I was sort of like a, the like goof with my pals in high school type, like getting trouble in class, getting kicked out of class a lot, that kind of thing. And then I went to a tiny little high school, and even there, I was by no means any kind of like stud of the theater department. Couldn't be further from the truth. Like my senior year, we did Peter Pan, and I think I played pirate number 7 or something. And so, no, it's not like I started off with any kind of really bright future in the arts. I didn't really start doing improv and all that until after college. And then I did have some really, really, really sweet, lovely improv teachers in Chicago who I adore, who kind of told me to keep at it. So there's some guideposts along the way of people who kept, would pat me on the back and say, hey, you might have something here. Keep going. Take the next level of improv. We'll take your money, and you're not so bad at this. You're muted.
That's showbiz. That's showbiz. And
right? You got to take the crumbs where you can. Starting out, take them, gobble them up, and they can sustain you for months.
Well, I know we're in the middle of the SAG strike, and you're on the Broadway, so it's great to be working and doing all that stuff.
You said it.
Most people see your face and they know you from an evening, the weekend on a Saturday night. And I had told you at Broadway Barks that's where I got my start in being one of the extra background to the set people and doing 23 episodes. That place.
It's Jenna Rossitano on the PA calling everybody. Can we get background? The sweetest voice in show business
ever. Then Chris will yell at you. But I when you're here,
Chris Kelly, my God,
legend. Amazing. It is the I don't know what is the most amazing group of cast and crew. They make magic, and when you go to Broadway, another cast and crew that makes magic. How does one thing doing improv, doing live television, and now doing live theater, is it all very similar? Are there different tools that you pull out of the toolbox?
Well, that's a good question. I do think that there is something kind of similar to it. There's a strong similarity between the two with the live element. I mean, I don't think you find a lot of live TV shows on the telly anymore. So, that's kind of I don't want to say one of a kind thing, because, you could be the host of Good Morning America or something, and then you're doing live TV. So there's plenty of, but like the nature of it, the like scripted and comedy and all that jazz, it is a one of a kind institution. So there's plenty of overlap. But like you said in the beginning of this interview, just sort of like that's always different week to week to week to week. Whereas this is, we're trying to find a little bit something different every show. But certainly, getting to perform live is the best. Playing off an audience, the most fun in the world. So that's kind of all you got to do, is just play it, do your thing, and have fun with the audience.
Absolutely. I had friends at the matinee today. They went to Carmine's. It was a group of ladies. Ladies who lunched. They went to Carmine's. They had their little chicken parm moment, and then they came over to the Cottage.
God bless them. I hope they had the best afternoon this month. Robert, is it true that you are Steve Bannon's nephew? Because
my favorite thing about being through the years before COVID over at Studio 8H
Mhm.
was that when Steve Bannon appeared on the show as a demon in a Grim Reaper,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I got to see the resemblance next to them right there, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. The familial. There's definitely a Bannon quality.
Yes, and you know, I love to take screenshots of CNN when it says Bannon indicted, Bannon going, you know, like it's
Yeah.
good for me. I I want everybody that's out there to go to the Cottage, go to the
Thank you.
Cottage
You
on
got
Broadway.
2 weeks left.
You have 2 weeks to get your little self over to the Helen Hayes. Get yourself, open your snacks before it starts because it's going to be one big shot.
You don't be cracking your little Cracker Jack box open.
Shut your cell phone.
Yeah.
Have you had cell phone moments?
Oh my God. In most shows, we have at least one or two. And every now and again, we will like ad lib something about it. But sometimes it's like, well, just let it go and let's keep moving. We heard it. Everybody heard it. But we live in it's 2023. People are going to leave their phone on. It happens, you know, whatever. But a few times, there have been a few times where it's so loud and so egregious that we've had to say something. And that it's actually made for some pretty funny moments. Not to say that anybody should intentionally, you know, like set an alarm to go off in the middle of Act 2 or something, just to be like, what are they going to ad lib? But yeah, it happens. Whatever. It's live theater. Phones go off.
You have 2 weeks, so get your tickets. If you want to go again, see it a second time, take a shot every time they pull a cigarette from somewhere on the set.
Yeah, baby. The Cottage, the drinking game. And get your parm at Carmine's.
See? Done. You're such a pleasure. I was so excited to talk to you. People are so excited. We're ready for stages and screens and all of the fun stuff that you have coming your way. We appreciate it. You've made us laugh for a long time. Thank you.
That is so kind. I really appreciate that. Thank you for having me on this, Robert.
My pleasure. There you go. Alex Moffat. Alex is great. I love Christine's. Thank you, Christine. Christine's last days in her 40s. Clarence is like a show pony, and he does not let me do the show without wanting to come up here. He barks. That's why I'm always on mute when I do these interviews, because he barks at me. Right, Claire Bear? So we have one more for you. We jam-packed this show because Tituss just let us on yesterday. So we were only supposed to have these two guests, and we ended up with third. So I know the show's a little long and all. Yes, Abby, Claire Bear is a lot. Right, Claire? Right. We call him Claire Bear. That was coined by Darius. Speaking of Darius, I took Darius to see Sweeney Todd. Darius loves Josh Groban. And if you've watched the show enough, you know that we talk about Josh. When I talked to Josh Groban, I told Josh Groban about Darius. And me and Darius' song is, if you look back down on 99 years of that song, it's the most beautiful song. He played it and sang it for me the first day we met. And I was like, damn. But he has a thing for Josh Groban. So you know, whenever I get the chance, I have to bring it up. Oh God, I talk about him so much. Here is Maria Bilbao making her Broadway debut over as Johanna in Sweeney. So good. Hear about our date night, me and his, to Sweeney Todd. Had, you know, super overpriced drinks, and we sat in super great house seats, and he's secretly like a gigantic Josh Groban fan. Like, if he had a celebrity hall pass for a straight, he would pick Josh Groban. So wait, I'm going to get brownie points right now. Maria Bilbao is here, and we're going to talk all things Sweeney Todd right now. Hi.
Hello.
You have such a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you so much.
Gorgeous voice, and you have the most beautiful acting choices, and I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. It's so exciting to talk to you.
Thank you. Everyone that's listening to us right now on the Broadway Podcast Network or watching us on YouTube, why haven't you gotten your Sweeney tickets yet? It's the perfect time of year.
It's perfect. It's spooky season. You know, we just had Friday the 13th. It's time. It's time to come attend the tale.
Come attend the tale. And if you're around the country, you can listen to the tale right now. The album is out. It is streaming wherever music is streamed and heard. We're going to talk about it in a moment. Maria, you're from Miami?
Hmm. I sure am.
At what point did you say, I want to be in showbiz, in theater in particular?
I started theater when I was 7. So my mom put me in like a little theater camp, and I quickly fell in love with it because I was around kids just like me who were so expressive and who just loved to sing and dance. But I think that I got really serious about it once I was in high school, or honestly, not even. No, I'm lying to you. I had this very pivotal moment in my life watching the PBS documentary when Wicked first, became a thing. And I remember sitting in my great grandmother's kitchen, and those tiny little TVs that people used to have?
Yes.
I was just watching Idina Menzel being painted green, and I was like, I need to do that in that city. And I must have been like 7 years old, honestly.
And that when you got the bug, you get the bug. That's it.
The bug.
Idina Menzel and the green makeup, and that was it. Done.
Yeah, I was like, I want that.
Did you go to voice lessons? Did you go, like, I know for me, I went to the mall, and the Bergen Mall in Paramus, New Jersey. That's all my parents knew. Like, what was the steps you took when you were younger?
Yeah, my grandmother and my mother have always been so supportive. And once they realized that I was really into this and really serious about it, yeah, my grandma started putting me in, I started taking like group voice lessons first as like a trial. And then after that, I went into just like private ones. I must have been 11 or 12 when I started that. And then after that, yeah, I went into dance classes, and I went to like a drama magnet school for high school.
Okay.
So it was just continuous.
Continuous. So do in high school, because a lot of students, I teach musical theater at NJPAC in Newark.
Mm-hmm.
They're obsessed with theater, young theater makers, amazing voices, the up and coming superstars of the world. And they always talk about their big thing is auditions and audition prep, and they're in high school, so they're going for high school shows, or they're applying for college. Do you remember the first time you started to put songs together and make a book and all that?
Yes. And oh my gosh, like now I'm like, I didn't know anything. Like there's such a specific way, I think, of creating your book and like having a really great song that you really love that you just bring to multiple auditions. But I think I remember my high school audition was like my first one that I ever really like worked with someone with, where I was like, okay, I need to find a monologue. Let's find a song. Let's work on the beats and the acting. And yeah, I just remember being from Miami, there's this like Coral Gables Youth Center, and like just sitting outside and recording myself saying the monologue and, editing it with her. So that was like my first experience of trying to figure things out regarding auditions. And I don't think I figured it out probably until after college, to be honest. Once I really like was using it in the real world in this context, I was like, okay, this works and this does not work. Let me redo this.
Is a forever living and breathing document, truly.
Yeah.
Where did you go to school, and did you study musical theater?
Yes, I did. I went to AMDA Conservatory. So they have the option of doing like 2 years in New York and 2 years in LA, and I just decided to do the 2 years in New York. Yeah.
I have students who are applying and going through the audition process this year, and I have many friends. If you're in New York area or LA and you know actors, then you know people that have went to AMDA.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, and a lot on Broadway and a lot on television and film, etc. What about the process there? Those 2 years, was it hard to leave Florida? Was that a big dramatic moment, or you were like, "I'm out, see you later"?
I was ready to get out. I was so ready. And auditioning for AMDA was a really like kind of like a kismet moment for me, because I wasn't going to audition for AMDA. I had like paid for orientation for Florida State University. I was going to minor in theater and major in psychology. My life would have been very, very different. Well, who knows? I don't know. And then I got an email from AMDA being like, if you audition, you get an automatic scholarship. It's like, oh, sure. And And then I told FSU, sorry, I'm not coming, because then I got accepted. And I just was like, I need to leave to New York. And my mom was like bribing me with like, I'll get you an annual pass to Disney if you stay in Florida. Like, just stay in Florida. And she's very supportive that I'm in New York. But I was like, no, nothing can stop me from wanting to be there.
And you come here, you go to AMDA, and then you have worked in some of the best regional theaters, and got your resume filled up and got your feet wet, so to speak. What is it like to book a contract and go from Westchester to here to there, everywhere, and to be in a new place and housing? And what is that like for a young new actor?
Magical, I think. Like when I did Evita at St. Louis Rep, I was so nervous because I didn't know what to expect. You know, you get told so many things from school, like this is what it's going to be like, but you don't ever really know until you're there. That was a really magical experience, being like, oh wow, this is truly so similar to what I know how to do. Like, it's like being in high school, you're with a group of people who really love to do this, but we get paid to do it. And there's like more money involved, obviously, because the costumes are better or whatever. But I love doing regional theater. I have met like lifelong friends doing these shows. Exploring the country is just incredible. Like, I don't know if I would have ever gone to St. Louis, you know, because I didn't know what was there or was not really interested. And yeah, it's fun. Like, it's obviously really nice to be doing like a Broadway contract and you're in the city and you can settle yourself in your apartment for, you know, a long time or a longer time than usual if you're used to doing regional theater. But there's something really exciting about like jumping back and forth and being in a new place and having that new energy.
Absolutely. And so many people don't have access to coming to New York or going to Los Angeles, and you get to be the only show in town for people who love theater everywhere.
Yeah, it's really inspiring for a lot of people. You know, I didn't see my first Broadway show until I was 17. So regional theater and national tours was the only way that I could get access to it. Because, you know, there were no slime tutorials back then.
You know, I just told that story about my first Broadway audition, getting called from Telsey to be a replacement Roger in Rent in 2001. And I told the kids, there was no slime tutorial. There was a bootleg VHS tape that my friend had of someone with a camcorder to try to memorize the word. That is, we live in a new world.
In a new world. My God.
Well, so many actors dream about being on Broadway. So many actors dream about being in a big, giant production of something. What was your journey like to be in Sweeney?
Oh, wow. It was a wild and really quick journey. So the moment that it was released that this was going to be happening, I texted my manager. I was like, can I get it? Do you think I can get seen for Johanna? And he was like, I don't know, I'll try, but I think it's cast. And I was like, okay, valid, whatever. If they want to see me for ensemble or like a cover, you know, I'm open. And that was like in the summer or spring. I don't remember when it was released, the news last year. And I didn't hear anything. And then I was just like, I think like 2 or 3 more times, I was like, hey, I still want to be seen for this if there's anything. And then in November of last year, I got a self-tape for Johanna. And that was the week before Thanksgiving. And I had to like change my flight home because I had to be here. And I was like also doing a holiday contract in Sonoma, California after Thanksgiving. So there was a lot that I had to do logistically, but I was like, I need to be here in New York for this audition right now. So I sent my self-tape in, and then I got asked to dance. And then that was the Friday before Thanksgiving. And then the Monday I sang. And then the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, I found out. My manager called me. So it happened in 2 weeks. It was crazy.
Oh my goodness. What was the moment like when you got the phone call? Where were you? What pandemonium?
I was in Sonoma, California. I was in I was in like artist resident housing. and it was my day off. I was going to the dentist in the middle of the day. That was my only plan for my afternoon. My manager calls me because I was in for another show, and he's like, you know, the show has notes for you. And I was like, oh, okay, this must mean that I didn't get Sweeney. Whatever, that's fine. I'll just do this show, if anything. And then he said, you know, the show has notes, but it should be easy for you because like you got Johanna. And I just remember being in this room and like falling to my knees and being like, no way. No way.
Yes.
And screaming. My roommate heard me and like knocked on the door and was like, what did I just hear? And then we celebrated together and I FaceTimed my mom, my grandma. Yeah, and that's another moment that's like ingrained in my mind for eternity.
It's just the beginning. It's just the first of many, I'm sure, that are to come. So you all better be on it. While we're talking about it, you can follow on Instagram. Make sure that you take a follow for the journey because it's going to be exciting. All that's going to happen. So when you walk into a rehearsal space with Annalee Ashford and Josh Groban and Jordan Fisher and this cast and your director who has done a little show here and there.
Yeah.
On the scale, what is it like when you walk in there and this is your Broadway debut and no shade to us, but these are monster stars, talents.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my God. Even the moment like I got the call and my manager told me like who was going to be in the show and my jaw dropped and I was like, oh, really? Okay. I'm prepared for this. And there was like a little bit of imposter syndrome, you know, because it's like, oh, wow, like I'm just starting, like feeling like, oh, I have something to prove. But I was like, no, it's all right. Like treat this like any other regional gig, you know? You go in there and just be you. You've got the job already. But I definitely had to like mentally prepare myself to not like fangirl over these people. Like these are all people that I have admired for so long and have followed their careers, like Ruthie and Gina and Annalee. Like these are women that I've really admired in my own career and growing up. But quickly I realized, oh man, these people are so down to earth and sweet and gracious. I can just be myself around them. And I'm in love with all of them.
That is such a beautiful, talented cast.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a magical evening of theater, especially to sing these Sondheim songs in this time. What is it like when you have people come visit this show? Like I saw a picture of you and Bernadette Peters. I mean, you have some iconic Sondheim people, Broadway people, period. What is that like?
Wild, surreal. Yeah, when Bernadette came, talk about an icon. Someone, since I was 7, like listening to her voice, she has shaped so much of who I am and why I love what I do. So seeing her was magical. Like my inner child was just like leaping for joy. Yeah, it's just incredible. And like having a direct link to people who were so close to Sondheim is really special.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Like I said, we had such a great time at the show. I need everyone to go get their tickets. I think Josh Groban, I told him he's the nicest man in show business because he really is nice.
He is so nice. Mm-hmm.
And like you're like, really? You can't be this nice. And
like so sweet. It's disgusting how sweet and kind and humble he is.
And how are you all still standing? You're now in what? How many months have you've done the show? It's almost 8?
8, almost 8 months. We just hit our 200th performance last Thursday, which is crazy. And I think like for us, since we all love each other so much and we are having so much fun and we really do love this story and treat it with so much care, that it doesn't get old. Like obviously there are days where, you know, life is happening.
Sure.
But I think collectively, all of us in the theater, the moment we walk in, it's like, I know what I'm doing here. Like this is my safe space. So and also having the 2 days off is really, I think that is a big reason why all of us are like so, I don't know, jazzed and falling apart.
Well, it's an event, and the audience is here for it. Here's pictures from the event, and here's the playbill if you're watching us right now. When you got to make the album, what was it like to do it in a recording session with this cast? And now it's forever documented and immortalized, and you can listen to it right now wherever music is heard.
Amazing. That's another surreal moment. Like thinking, I had a shower moment after doing the recordings where I was like, oh my God, I remember singing along to Sarah Rice in the OBC on Spotify, like learning this track for this audition, and just thinking about like young girls and women like listening to me and having that is really just like a mind-blowing moment.
There are going to be so many high school, regional, community theater productions of this show forever, for eternity. And they're going to Google schmoogle the show and put it in Spotify or wherever. And they're going to all be listening and taking notes from you.
Yeah, it's really, I truly am at like a loss for words, because it's hard to wrap my mind around it. Because it's something that I loved doing so much as a kid, that thinking about other kids is just really magical. I
love it. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't wait for people to ruin your runs and your ideas in rehearsal and audition rooms forever. Well, we know that you have music in you. We know that you have tricks up your sleeve. You were doing shows with Jenna DeWall I saw that. I'm ready for your cabaret shows, your concerts, your solo records, your next Broadway show. We're here for you. We're rooting. We're cheering. We're ready.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I'm so excited. That's on my list, is doing like a solo show. So hopefully in like the next year, that'll be happening. So.
Well, everybody that's here, we're going to follow you on Instagram and stay up to date. We're all going to go for the holidays, for Halloween, for Thanksgiving, wherever you can try to get a ticket. Go to Sweeney Todd, Broadway.com, and you can get your tickets. And we're so excited. We are going to be streaming the album and listening and telling all of our friends they got to head on down and see Sweeney Todd.
Yes, please come.
Congratulations. You're so wonderful. I'm so excited. Love to your family. I am sure they are over the moon.
So much. Oh, yeah. My mom was just here and saw the show 3 times this week.
I love it. That's family. That's what. There you go. Maria Bilbao. How great is she? I hope you can check out Sweeney Todd. They just announced today that Josh and Annalay Ashford will be leaving in January. So you only have until January to grab and see them. Thank you for sticking this out and watching. There's a lot of interviews today and a lot of taped stuff. And I appreciate you checking up with the comments. That's my grandmother. Hi, Graham. My grandmother gets a shout out. My grandmother gets a shout out in the Rewind album, which comes out next Friday. She definitely is mentioned. I call her my little Italian grandmother in Fort Lee and all her regalia, as I say on the album right before I sing Liza Minnelli. So make sure you check that out. Darius in third person, which I love so much. And I'm sorry I've made him a character because he is a good sport. Darius loves Josh Groban. His voice is amazing and the personality that matches. He is amazing. Josh Groban is amazing. He's wonderful for sure. And slime tutorials. Oh my goodness. I cracked up. She is definitely delightful. Thank you, Matthew, for being here, and South Fritz and all of that. Thank you to my mom, to my Darius, to everybody who is here, my roundtablers that stopped by. Thank you to Robbie Roselle for coming on the pre-show. Last week, the pre-show had Darius. This week, it had Robbie Roselle. Who knows about next week? And Christine, happy birthday again. We're looking forward to you celebrating you in the big 5-0. Life begins maybe at 50. And I can't wait to see you all again next week right here on the Roundtable. Join me at robertbannon.com. There'll be a brand new robertbannon.com starting next week. And make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe this channel on below so you don't miss a minute, because there's a new interview up every day. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. You know? And I'm so grateful to be here with you. Go to the BroadwayPodcastNetwork.com to see me there. I love you all. You give me such joy. You made my whole entire night. I can't wait to see you again next week. The best is always yet to come. Remember, there is more good than there is bad. There is more love than there is hate. And every single one of us has a story to tell, has their truth to share, and is allowed to be whoever they want to be. So rock on with your bad selves, and I'll see you again next time. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here. Oh my goodness. I forgot how to do the show. I have to hit the credits. Hit it.